Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kirusho here. Now then, whenever we last left off, Deku and Tomura have met. Along with that, All For One has gone into surgery. Because of apparently the new quirk he got had a bit of a weird effect. One that he wasn't trying to control. The user may have subconsciously had the idea for it, and it could have gone well for him, but not for All For One. Now, let's pick up 2 to 3 days later. Deku, he is sitting in a room, levitating a weird array of objects. A pen in the air, a bottle of water, a quarter, probably a shoe, a brick, and more random things. Just to name a few. And his dad would come walking in, the clone of Hisashi. This is just another clone All For One made, while the other Hisashi, who is with Inko, is maintaining cover, in case he needs him there. Now, this Hisashi would just ask Midoriya if he is doing okay, and if he is getting better with Inko's quirk. Deku just explaining that he is getting better with it, but it still feels hard to use. It's, getting used to it's a bit weird. Well, of course it's going to be weird. It's not really... Hisashi just trying to think of a good way to say it. It's not Deku's quirk. But it is, at the same time. She gave it up. Hisashi just saying that it's still, well, a weak quirk. You have to train it to help it get stronger. Although you are lifting things a lot easier than your mother. Try pulling something towards you. As Deku would begin, bringing his hand up trying to pull the pen towards him, since it's a small object. The pen flying towards Deku and stopping in midair. Deku having to pull his hand and move it in the way he's seen his mom. It finally coming to rest in his hand. It only stopped once, so that does show that it's stronger. And a lot better. But he does need to train the other power first. As he also does begin to mimic the material. This time, not just half of his arm, but all of it turns into the material the pen is made out of, wood and gold. This actually impressing Hisashi. Him actually asking Midoriya if he's been a bit more comfortable with these quirks. They are going to take some getting used to. Along with that, the other me, as Deku just looks at him for a second. Confused before remembering that, well, that's right. This is a other clone, I guess? Oh well, still his dad. As the clone would just go on, the other me has woken up. So, let's go see him. And then we can go see Tomura. He should still be awake right now. Or he's probably just doing something. I'm not really sure. Now, along with that, Deku would leave with his dad. Going over to a room. Hisashi pulling out a key and unlocking it. Then opening the door. All For One just laying in bed. Asleep. Okay, now, Hisashi would walk over. And try and wake up this other him. As All For One wake up. And actually, well, lean up against the wall. Seeing Midoriya and asking him if he's doing okay. And if he is enjoying his time here. Deku actually jumping up onto the bed. Saying that this place is cool and all, but when is he going to see Mom again? All For One coming to that statement. That is right. Midoriya probably can't see his mom for a while. It's best that she stay away. But he can't just tell him that. The boy does need someone to look after him. Or at least to see her once again. So, that's going to be a bit hard to maintain. All for one just saying that his mom will. He's not really sure when he can see his mom again. But for right now, just let's focus on your quirk. Now, with that, all for one ask how Midoriya is doing with his hardening quirk, as we'll call it. Hasashi just saying that the boy has actually done a lot better. He could only do his hand at first, correct? Yes, he could. Well, he's finally able to do his whole arm. Along with that, he's also doing a lot better with Inko's quirk. All for one confused. As he looks at Deku, asking him exactly what does that mean. Deku just looking at the alarm clock and raising it up into the air. All for one looking at it and watching, realizing that Inko willingly let Deku take her quirk. Actually somewhat smiling. That woman is way too good for him. And she really does love him. Now, all for one would just say that that is fairly impressive, as he would grab the alarm clock and set it down back on the table, telling Deku that he would help him, but for right now, he does need to get some rest of his own. He's gone through quite, well, a surgery, and he actually does need to get rest on doctor's orders. As he would hold his hand out, the Hasashi taking it, the two exchanging a quirk or two. All for one has sometimes kept quirks separate from himself. If a clone needs it, then the clone can take it. As long as whenever the two meet back up and reform, the quirk will become part of him once again. Hasashi, feeling that All for One and him are changing quirks. He's having his current quirk taken away, while All for One is giving him a telekinesis quirk, along with a mind-reading one, and a third one. Let us say the bone quirk. That allowed him to, well, create bone shards and harden his body more. So, with that, this is whenever he would just ask exactly why did he give him mind reading? Because you'll need it. The boy is asking to see his mother again. Should we let him see Inko? Or should we even tell Inko about this? Hey, sorry for the, well, late reveal, but we've known each other for half a decade, and I'm a supervillain who's nearly hundreds of years old. Over 100 years, going on almost 200. And the son we have has my quirk, the one I've used to murder and take countless others. Hasashi just realizing that that's right. He doesn't need to know. But Inko. Well, Inko doesn't need to know, but what about the boy? All for one just saying that the boy they can train and groom. Shigaraki, he's, well, with Kurogiri right now. I suggest you take the boy to meet Kurogiri first, before trying anything else. Along with that, get him something to draw with. And another notebook. He knows his son likes quirks, so at least make sure he keeps up a little bit of a fascination on them. He's looking for more quirks from him while he's laying here, keeping his own little list. Whenever it is time, they will get them. And whenever they need to, they can tell the boy everything. And the truth. Hopefully it will not heartbreak him, though. Hasashi just nodding, as he does pick up Midoriya and actually carry him out of the room. saying, "Come on, champ, let's leave him alone for right now. He does need to get his rest." As they would go into the next room, after closing the door, then walking down the hallway to another part of the building, walking downstairs and actually into the bar, as you can call it. Now, this is the place they were hiding in canon, because I don't know if they had any other bases before then. So, Deku would have actually been walking around, seeing this place, how big it is, how weird it is, the lighting. The booths, are they in a diner? Hmm? No, no, Midori, we're not in a diner. This place is actually, well, somewhat like it, but not really. I'll tell you when you're older. As Kurogiri is at the bar, Deku turning to see him as his eyes do widen, and he immediately looks fascinated, somewhat running over and jumping on a stool, asking Kurogiri what's his quirk, because he looks really, really cool, and actually a little scary though. Kurogiri is somewhat holding his hands out to stop Deku from falling, telling him that his quirk is Portal. I can open dimensions or gateways and fold the dimension, opening at one point and exiting at another point. It's fairly complicated. Midoriya still impressed and really, really curious about this. Now, Shigaraki, though, he's out doing a bit of reconnaissance and talking a bit more with some other people. He's supposed to be going through his own training for All For One. But that young boy, his actual son, being here is going to make this fairly complicated. I got stuck looking after that brat. Now at least the clone's doing his job. So, what am I going to do now? Exactly what should we be doing next? The doctor said that we have to find more quirks. More fascinating ones, but the kid already has 2. Along with his own, that makes it 3, so is his stockpile ability already used up? No, the doctor said that he can stockpile 3. So that means he technically has 4. This is getting annoying. Now, with that said, this is where Kurogiri would see something that's quite a bit interesting. There is a street performer, and he's actually doing something odd with his quirk. Watching as you have a ball floating in the air, then a person manifesting out of nowhere, taking the ball and immediately holding it, throwing it back and forth as they do slam it between their hands and it disappears. The person bringing their hands up and falling into a pile of dust, or into a pile of smoke, dispersing and going up into the air, forming around the man and immediately just wrapping around him, turning into a snake. This being quite odd and interesting. So, that could be useful. Kurogiri just walking. Kurogiri. Tomura just walking up, asking the man exactly what was that. That was quite interesting. As he would at least grab into his pocket and pull out a dollar, tossing it into the hat, saying that he's really interested though. What is your quirk? Well, a magician never reveals his secrets, young man. Magician. So, like a, what's that word? Sleight of hand? Illusions? Actually, young man, if I'm being honest, you are correct there. But don't tell that to the crowd now, would you? A magician with his secrets revealed is no better than, well, what's the right phrase? A doctor without a scalpel. Do you understand? Oh, trust me, I wouldn't tell it for the world. Ominous. Now, ignore that last part, I just wanted to say that. Anyways, Kurogiri would walk away and scribble down the man's name, along with his quirk description, illusions. And Mr. Poison, I have picked your quirk, illusions. And, well, if anyone's curious as to who that is, he does make what ifs too. So this is me giving you a shout out, man, if you are watching this. Now, with that being said, if you guys also are curious of another YouTuber, Killer Watson. He does what ifs too. He made a what if Deku was a slime. That would be a really good quirk. Or what if Deku was reincarnated as a slime. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Now, eventually, this is whenever Tomura would have come back, finding that Deku is scribbling down something in a little notebook with a crayon, as he would actually walk over and look over his shoulder, seeing it. Watching as he's drawing a picture of Kurogiri, looking at it and then seeing that it's actually a little, well, it's good for a kid. Deku actually turning the page and beginning to draw something in. It being Tomura. Him actually watching as Deku is drawing hands everywhere along his outfits. Him somewhat at least smirking about this. Well, he's at least getting something right. As he'd actually just point out that, hey, if you're going to have me down in your little journal, Deku actually looking back at him. Him just, well, folding his hands up and pointing it down, saying that you must know that my cape needs to be a little bit longer. Deku's saying, okay, but I have a question. What's your quirk? My quirk is decay. It's not a pretty one. Really? How does it work? Now, Tomura would just hold up a pencil, saying that this is how his quirk works. Watch this. Him bringing his thumb down and then his 3 fingers, saying that he usually holds things like this. And watch what happens when I bring down my little finger. Him doing so. The wood immediately beginning to rot away and split in half, as the pencil turns to dust in his hand. And Deku sees it. Kurogiri is somewhat telling him to clean that up. He just sweep the place. As you have him just say, fine. But he was at least giving a demonstration of his quirk. Pretty villainous, huh, kid? Deku's somewhat just smiling, saying that that was awesome and really interesting. Him actually a bit surprised. That, okay then. Well, what else would you like to see me do? Deku is somewhat looking around the room, asking Kurogiri if he can, well, do that. Now, at this point, the two would begin to decay and destroy random objects. Deku just using telekinesis to pick up the quirks, pick up the dust, and get it in the trash can, finding this to be a bit fun. Hasashi walking in to see these two sitting down and actually talking a bit. Tomura is taking a sip of soda while Deku's drinking a bit of apple juice, asking Tomura where he was. Him explaining that he went out for a walk earlier, and in fact he saw something quite interesting. Him just pulling out a piece of paper, handing it over, saying that he was walking around. He knows that he's looking for interesting quirks, and this one caught his eye. Now, with that being said, Hasashi would just take this and look down at it, and seeing it. Quite interesting. So, exactly illusions. How much does this quirk affect? Well, from what I can see, he creates, I believe, illusions out of smoke, probably. But even then, they were quite interesting and quite complex. He made a snake, a man, and a ball. The snake was actually very detailed. I think it was... Tomura is someone thinking. as he just says King Cobra? Not really sure. The thing was hard to explain. But what about the kid? He can only take on one more quirk, right? Or is he already full? How does he even train it? Hmm. Deku is someone looking up and asking if he's, well, gonna take another person's quirk. The man's someone just saying, no. Well, yes, sadly, you are. But it's gonna be okay. The man doesn't really use his quirk properly besides. He's, well, I'm pretty sure he's a bad guy, correct? No, we're the bad guys. Now, Deku hearing that would at least be a bit confused. Tomura somewhat just shaking that off, saying that the boy should go get his quirk then. All for one and Deku walking out. As later on into the evening, the man is walking home, and is actually a bit more, well, surprised. Whenever he does see a man and his son walking down the street. The two actually a bit happy, and, well, talking more. The man deciding to stop and take a knee, showing Deku something he can do. In his hand he began using his quirk. As things get a bit weird. He uses his quirk to create long vines, which then turn into a giant tree, which blooms. Then, petals begin to fall. Deku looking up to see this, finding it to be quite interesting and fascinating. It's really cool. As one thing would happen. Awful will instruct Deku to take his quirk now. Deku is somewhat just surprised, just looking at the man and just focusing, as this thing disappears. The man a bit confused. His quirk isn't working, and his hands feel a bit numb. What happened? Awful walking over and asking the man if he's okay. The man going on a bit of a rant, saying that his quirk is gone. He can't use his quirk, something's wrong. I think I need to go to the hospital. The man somewhat asking Hasashi if he knows where a close one is. He doesn't have his phone on him. Hasashi somewhat smirking, as he does use his own telekinesis to pick up the man, flinging him into the alley. Deku running in behind him to see what's going on. All for one, or Hasashi saying that Midori needs to, well, stay outside the alley for a minute, and to close his eyes and plug his ears. This may not be very easy, as all for one's Hasashi's hands cover in bone, and claws begin to form at his fingertips. The man actually tries to let out a scream, before Hasashi grabs him by the mouth and tells him not to scream, otherwise he will scare his son. Hasashi brutalizing the man and killing him, as he would have walked out of the alley, and, well, put his gloves on. He had these in case things got a bit messy, so that should at least work for now. As he does look at Deku. Deku is just sitting down, plugging his ears with his eyes closed. As Awful would have walked over, tapped him on the shoulder and told him that it's time for them to go. Deku asking what happened to that man. Awful One explaining that they had a bit of a talk, and there was a bit of yelling back and forth, but it is all sorted out. The man happily gave up his quirk, Midoriya. Him somewhat smiling, as Deku at least smiles back. Then beginning to walk home as Deku tries to use his quirk, the new one. As a little thing comes out of Deku's hand, him actually staring at it and finding this to be a bit cool. all for once seeing it, and smiling a bit more. Now comes the tricky part, training it. The quirk can grow with potential if he lets Deku age. At the age of 6 or 7, he might be able to hold 5 or 4 quirks. But that would take too long. So they're going to have to start training a bit early. The only way for Deku to train would be to take on another quirk, and let his body have that physical stress. So, that should be okay then. Let's see, another quirk. Now, eventually these two would have gotten home. Deku at least running around the area as he does show off this little thing. Thing that is quite interesting. Now, I believe that is a good stopping point, you guys, and I believe that is a good stopping point here, guys, and I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. Along with that, Mr. Poison, Killer Watson, I give you two a shout out. Yes, I did. I've seen both of you guys' videos, and they're actually pretty good. And if you guys ever do need advice on them, you know where to find me on my Discord. Speaking of which, I should actually put it down in the description below for anyone who is curious, or wants to join it. So, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day.